enjoying the chirping?
I typically don't get into the chirping. I mean, it's just it was one of those instances last year or last game where everyone is just emotional and heat of the moment, and obviously a few things were said on their side, so I just kind of want to get in there and see what's going on and making sure nothing's over the line.
Well, they launched 91 shots. Where can you be better? Coming out of that game and post-mortem on it, where do you need to be better?
Yeah, I mean, they obviously had us, up against our walls, back against the walls for a while there. Threw a lot of pucks to the net. They came at us in waves on the forecheck and had a pretty good cycle game going at times. And we're good off the transition, and a lot of times in the second period in particular, it seems like you're just they had us on the ropes for a lot of it. So obviously we got to correct some things. We hung in there and mentally stayed strong, but for sure they had a lot of good looks last night, and our goalie was really good for us.
John Cooper. Does it surprise you that there's more back and forth between him and Sheldon, at least in the media?
I don't think I'm surprised. I mean, obviously Coop's he's pretty well thought out guy when it comes to his press conferences and what he says, and he's kind of the same how he approaches his team in meetings. He doesn't go up there and just say things for the sake of it. I think he's got a method to it, and yeah, I mean, obviously, like I said earlier, everyone's emotionally invested. It's players, coaches, everyone's emotionally into the series, which is what makes it a great series.
What stands out to you about Ryan O'Reilly? Why and how he approaches this time of year in particular?
Yeah, I mean, I just watched him. Obviously, the first time I really kind of kept a really close eye on him in the playoffs was, when he was in St. Louis and he made the run there with my brother to the finals, and just how good he was every game, and just every little detail. I mean, he's as a D-man, he's around the puck all the time in the D zone, supporting the puck. He's heavy on his stick, which helps win battles and exit the zone, and just support plays. He's good at those little 2 to 3 foot give and go plays. Probably a lot of it doesn't get talked about in the NHL these days. Everyone talks about speed and play off the rush and stuff, but it's the little give and go plays, out of corners and around the front of the net. He's really good too. So just great addition. He's been playing great for us, and he's been a workhorse for us.
Does your brother say anything in particular about him to you?
Oh, he says lots of stuff about him all the time. They're really good friends. I mean, they played together for obviously a number of years, and he's just an unbelievable teammate too. And I knew that coming in too. I played with him in the Worlds a couple times, and Braden and him are pretty tight. And it was a tough one for Braden when he got traded.
What's the difference for you guys when you guys have clean zone exits, control through the neutral zone, and clean zone entries, which is something you guys are really trying for, and when it doesn't work, right? Like game 3 a lot of the time, your breakouts didn't quite work. Neutral zone stuff didn't quite work. What's the difference for you guys?
Well, you're just not able to generate much. When you're disconnected, you're not moving your feet. Typically, those passes aren't there, and then you're just kind of chipping it into no man's land, and that's when they recover and come back at you and quick up it and come back right down at you, and then you're playing D zone again too. So, a lot of it is just skating, getting to spots, finding holes where you're supporting your teammates and able to make those little not a lot of stretch plays involved in playoffs. I mean, it's little short plays and chipping on to speed and kind of getting your feet going.
Ryan, what do you enjoy the most about this time of year?
Well, just the intensity of the games. It's obviously it's just you have to leave it out there every shift, and every play matters. It's just it's the most fun hockey is. It's just guys just competing for each other, doing whatever they can to win the game, and it's obviously when you win, it's a lot more fun.
Do you ever get nervous? You come through in the clutch. How do you feel?
Do I look nervous? No, I'm just kidding. No, it's fun. Like I said, I kind of just get excited for this, enjoy this time of year. I think everyone does. Obviously, comes a lot more pressure, but that's why it is so much fun. Just the details of everything, the competitiveness, the way everyone finishes checks and competes on every puck. It's just what you kind of grow up. This time of year, what you play for, and. Just to shift the focus to tonight, it's going to be a tough challenge. We didn't have a great one last one, but found a way to win. We kind of needed a response to come back to these guys and try to command the series. So it's going to be tough, but looking forward to it.
Your teammates have talked about how positive you are in the bench, talking about everybody out in the game, especially when it's something that's
always been a part of your game at every level, or is that something you kind of took on later in your career? Kind of?
Yeah, it's something more later in the career. I think, obviously break in and, I think just as I kind of progress over my course of my career, you kind of get more knowledgeable of the game. You kind of see what you need to do. And as a veteran guy now, I think that's something that, just talking to, Keefe for the staff here, it's something they kind of want me to bring in and do, is be that voice and, be, positive and be vocal and try to bring that energy as much as I can. So I think, definitely throughout my career, just, every year you try to progress a bit and be more vocal.
You set up a chance for yourself by banking the puck off the wall last game. Like, what do you see there? Why did you know to go? Okay, how do you do?
I just kind of saw it just with the way I think it was Bogosian there. Was kind of the way the gap was. Just trying to kind of step up there. I thought maybe I have a step on him, and just from where he was, I thought I might have a chance to beat him to the net. And I was kind of threw it off the wall. Hopefully, just try to create a battle. And it was lucky for me. Kind of had a good little chance there. Would have been nice to obviously do something a little better with the puck, but still, just kind of the way he was kind of stepping up, I thought I could maybe catch him and create a chance off it.
You're always on the ice, obviously in the morning, even in warm-up. It looks like you're putting the puck off the walls. Like, are you looking for the bounces to see how it all works, or is it just?
Yeah, I think. Oh, for sure. I think you're always kind of trying to feel at the arena and see the way the bounce comes off the boards for sure. But I think. Even you think of through the course of the game, how many times pucks are coming off the walls or on the rims and such like that. It's for myself, it's an important skill that you got to kind of continue to work on.
You mentioned the forecheck can be better. Like, what are the keys? Is it just that? Like, what can you guys do better tonight?
I think we got to be more aggressive with it. And we just got to be, I think, a little tighter with it too. We're just, I think, last game a little more hesitant with it, kind of trying to read it, not just kind of going and sorting it out from there. So, just in general, just being, as a group, it's all 5 guys got to be involved. We got to get up the ice, be more aggressive with it, and I think that'll give us some more pucks back, some more possession.
What sort of adjustments are you guys looking for tonight?
Obviously we didn't play at our best last game. I feel like we got to be a little bit better today overall.
What areas are you looking to improve, I guess, specifically?
I guess everything a little bit. Breakouts, getting through the neutral zone, spend some more time in their zone for sure would be helpful.
What is the difference, what is the difference for you guys in terms of puck possession, in terms of zone exits, neutral zone stuff, when it works and when you have more of a game like Game 3 where you're having trouble breaking out and controlling the puck?
Yeah, obviously if we do it right, we have the puck more and we spend more time in their zone.
What makes the difference for you guys? Like, is it their pressure? Is it your poise?
Yeah, a little bit of both maybe. But if we can beat their pressure, we can spend more time in their half.
Cameroon's calling it a must-win for them. How would you describe the stakes for your team tonight and what you can do in this game?
Yeah, I think every game is important. It means just as much for us as it does for them. So we're ready to go.
What stands out to you about Ryan O'Reilly and what he brings to the table at this time of year?
Yeah, obviously he's done it before. I think he's a great leader coming into our group, and he's been great.
What's he like on the bench during games? Apparently he's quite chatty.
Yeah, talks a lot. He's always positive, which is really good. Especially when we're down, he stays positive and gets everyone going.
Adjustments you can make to kind of tilt the ice back in the other direction tonight?
Yeah, obviously coming out of our end is going to be an important piece. Getting to the neutral zone, all those kind of things. I think both teams are, in a lot of ways, trying to accomplish very similar things in terms of establishing territory and getting on top of the opposition. And we're looking to really more or less how we started the game. I like I was saying yesterday, a lot of how we started the game, really up until Austin's goal to put us up 2-1. If we can start that way again and then look to sustain that, that would be the goal.
Any lineup changes?
We've got some game time decisions, so we'll see.
Did you say game time decision?
No.
How would you assess the Brody-McCabe pairing so far this series?
Well, I thought they had a tough game the other night. coming out of our end, which has been a real strength of theirs. They just have to get back to that. But those guys have played a lot, take on real difficult matchups. They played extremely well for us down the stretch. I think that they can play better collectively. I believe that they will, and that in itself will help us greatly.
There's on both sides having trouble finding where the standard is with game to game with the officiating. Is that something that you've noticed as well, that the standard hasn't really been set per se?
Yeah, I think that's always a challenge, whether you're starting a new regular season or you're starting the playoffs, because it is a different game, right? The emotions are high, and it's not just the players struggle to sort through that. It's hard on the officials too. There's a lot to sort through there, and there's a lot of gamesmanship that's going on throughout the game on both sides. So it's just a matter of managing that. Things seem to have a way of leveling off the deeper the series go. So, we just got to continue to play hard and be smart.
You guys were in a spot last year, 2-1 up. They're calling it a must-win over there. What's the proper mindset? What do you want to see in terms of urgency coming out of this game?
Well, there's urgency is an obvious and easy word to throw out. I think this time of the year that goes without saying, but it's just focusing on the details inside of how our game and how we need to play. If we can execute inside that, we give ourselves a real good chance. Having the urgency you're talking about, being competitive, being structured defensively, all those things give you, they allow you to hang around in the game and give you a chance there. But it's the details inside of it and the execution, that can give us an even greater chance. Because I thought we were good in a lot of areas the other night. Not such necessarily the execution and the details, certainly with the puck. And some of the other things we did without the puck allowed us to hang around in the game. But we've got to put all that together here. It's just, like I said, after game 2, it's going to continue to get harder. And here we are.
Why do you think Matthews on has been able to handle the Cirelli matchup so far?
Well, I think those guys are good players. I think that's a big part of it. I think they've had time away from them as well, and I think that helps. It's they're good players. They're gonna do a good job of carrying play. It was last year they were pretty dominant in the series as well in that regard. It's one thing to carry play and spend time in the offensive zone. It's another thing to find ways to produce and score goals, and that's an additional challenge. So, scored us a big goal last game, and obviously they had a good night in game 2. So, those guys just got to continue to go with it. But obviously, the bigger challenge for me, we had 3 lines that were really struggling the other night, and that was something for me to manage and try to find ways through that. In the third period, we split up Austin and Mitch and thought maybe we could try to get a little bit help to the other lines. But, those are all different things that we've got to look at. But those guys, when they're good, or when they're together, are good, and they have good chemistry and make it a challenge on the opposition. But we've got to balance things out pretty good, too.
Would you consider changing anything tonight?
Yeah, consider it, yeah.
One last question. What if you made a Morgan Riley series, and have you noticed anything different with him toward the end of the regular season, kind of now?
Hard to say. I think, one of the things that happens, I think, when the playoffs begin, everything goes back to zero. And I think every player, no matter what position you play or what your status is on the team, if you've had a really great season, you started 0 and you got to reestablish that. If you maybe aren't happy with how things finished, then you got a fresh and clean slate to get right back at it. But Morgan is, he's a guy that, of all of our players, has been here the longest and has a great appreciation for how difficult it is to win at this time of the year, and wants to win as bad or more than anybody. And I think you just see that in the urgency and the level that he plays at. And he's found ways to contribute offensively, which is a big part of who he is and what he does for us. I was thrilled to see him, get the winning goal the other night. I just think like he and a lot of our guys, they just have such a renewed focus when the playoffs come around, and we need people to step up.